We often think of PPC as spending money, paying per click, literally. But a better framing for our industry is about the value we create through PPC, the value we create for our businesses, the value we create for our clients, the value we create for consumers, and the value we create for our careers. Welcome to PPC Zone November 2022. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales, and I created this event to elevate new perspectives and insights in our industry. Our final speaker in the zone this month has over 12 years of paid search experience. She hosts the PPC Chat Roundup podcast and also started PPC Live, a PPC event in London, UK. She has a passion for diversity and especially for building a platform for women to get ahead in the industry. We're about to hear her unique perspective on why being part of a community is important for your PPC career. Please welcome Anu Adegbola.
Thank you for having me here. So welcome to everyone who's joining us in this fantastic community. Community is something that I think that has really burst at the seams since, our big C few years, like the COVID years that we've had, coronavirus that has really stopped us from doing a lot of things. Earlier on with the fantastic other speakers who were talking about traveling and about how we're happy to travel again. But something that it forced us to do is to look at social media differently, to look at our online platforms differently. And for me, I was determined to not just be the one that scrolls through Instagram, scrolls through Facebook. I wanted to find like-minded people that would still help me through these. First of all, we thought it was going to be months, but it became years of, we're stuck at home. I'm very much an extrovert. I feed off, my energy is that I feed off people around me who are there to support me, to want to see me grow or cheerleading me. And I found those people online. I found those people, especially my marketing people online. So I'm going to share some tips. Well, not some tips, why. I'm going to share why that has been important for me, why I feel actually, despite, COVID seeming to stop the world, bring the world to a bit of a standstill, I actually feel that my career has progressed the most over the past couple of years, mainly because of the community. To start off with, I'm going to talk a bit about my experience, how it has evolved. I'm then going to go into a little bit about these, some like a few things that I feel that being part of a community has really changed and really has been helped, evolve and bring to light what the positive parts of being in this industry, and then give you some next steps on how you can then as well make the most of your community and a few communities I think you should be a part of. So my journey starts off in about 2009. And I've gone from agencies and in the UK, so like companies like Stake Digital, companies like 360i, companies like OMG, and I went through like several of them, Stake Digital and that kind of stuff, several of them. And then I moved in-house. I worked for a property company. And then I went to like working into a large B2B company, and they were like my favorite to work with. I would have stayed with them for more than 2.5 years. Like the managers you work with is really the key in terms of actually, I feel, staying in a company. If you have a good team, if you have a good manager, people stick around a lot longer because every company will have its issues. No company is perfect. It was started up by a human being. Human beings are imperfect, so there'll be some issues. But as long as you have a manager who trusts you, or you work well together, you stay there longer. But yeah, they were moving to a different part of the UK. They closed their London office, so I needed to move on somewhere else. And that's where the idea of because at that stage I'd been working in the industry for close to 10 years. So I was like, let me try my hand at freelancing. And I went into freelancing. And I think even freelancing especially was where really I thought to myself, who are my teammates? As I've said at the beginning, I'm very much an extrovert. I feed off the energy of other people. we're not working, even though our working hours are from 9 to 5:30, we are not working every minute of that day. There, we do coffee runs, we do, chat with someone in the hallway, you have a question about something. Instead of writing an email, you turn around in your chair, you tap someone over the shoulder. That is what makes up the day. That's what makes you have an enjoyable work day. That's the case for me anyway. So freelancing really opened my eyes to how do I still recreate that, having a team, working with people. And so I dabbled into a little bit of going online, but it really didn't really hit until COVID hit in like 2019. So now taking you now onto that journey of really not having a community in the first, 7-8 years of my life, because I relied on the people around me. I'm now going to go into why I felt being part of your community has been very important. For the sake of time, I'm going to give the 4-5 tips that I've got, but I've got 10 really, and it's going to come out in a thread, not too long, but I'm going to share about 5 of them here with you. Now, having done paid search for all my career, Google Ads, we are very much at the whim of Google Ads and their updates and how they evolve. And this year alone, there have been 26 updates. There have been features that have been, deprecated. There have been announcements of things that's going to start next year. There's just been loads of changes. And sometimes it can be hard to keep on top of all of them and actually know which ones apply to you. And being able to have the community around with you that allows you to say that you hear from different experts from all over the world telling you that, hey, this update, it's not the end of the world. We've actually been able to get on it quickly. It's actually working well for our accounts. Kind of gives you a little bit of a peace of mind that, it's okay to move with the change, or actually to know that maybe it's something that you don't need to necessarily worry about your accounts. So being part of that community really opens your eyes to that. There's also a lot of misinformation in our industries. Best practice, when people talk about best practice, you should always take those practices with a pinch of salt. And I think it's very important to have a group of people where loads of different people will be giving their ideas, and for you to make up your mind about what is going to work and what's not going to work. It's also great to put faces to a name. So when you go to in-person events, it's really great to have that. And yeah, there's also a challenge about our current, it's also a way to help to challenge your current perspective of paid media. If you're sitting working from home, like I do a lot, it's really important for you to actually talk to other people about how paid search is evolving, what's working, what's not working. And it's also a good way to network. From the beginning, networking has always been important for our career. It's allowed me to have amazing teammates, not just for my podcast, but also for PPC Live UK. And those are the main 5 tips I'm going to give you for now. I really highly recommend now next steps for you to join a community. Twitter, for as long as we're going to be on it, has a great community on there. Go make sure you tweet on PPC chat. We're always talking about the latest information. Ask a question and you'll have many people that's going to join you to give you an answer for things. Go to an event, come to PPC Live UK. If you're in UK, if you're in London, especially, I'd love to have you there. It's a mixture of freelancers, recruiters, people in agencies, people from brand that just transparently share their ideas about what they're doing and what's working best. So yeah, my definitely advice for next steps for you is join a community. Join, whether it's on Slack, there's one I'm part of, there's paidsearch.org, whether it's on Slack, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on any of your different platforms, even on Facebook, find a community to join. It could be where you find your next teammate, your next manager, your next role, your next co-board member to come up with a fantastic, brilliant idea. That's all the ways I've used a community, and I'm sure it can be the same, if not more, for you. Thank you very much, Jill, and that's the end of my talk.
Thank you, Anu, for sharing your unique perspective and insights with us in the zone. If you'd like to connect with Anu, you can find her on Twitter @TheMarketingAnu. To learn more about PPC Zone and our speakers, or apply to speak at any upcoming event, visit ppc.zone. I'm your host, Jill Saskin-Gales. You can find me on Twitter at Jill Saskingales. I look forward to seeing you next time in the zone.